Why do you think they call it dope? 6.5 years old. That's how old I was when my interest in national events began. From April through August of 1967, there were 159 separate riots that blazed across the USA. Riots protesting our racist, xenophobic, white supremacist, separate, and unequal misogynistic culture. U.S. involvement in the Vietnam War was instrumental in piquing my interest in U.S. involvement in international affairs. As the Tet Offensive got underway in 1968, I began watching black and white footage of the Army guys via the CBS Evening News. I was 2 weeks shy of my 7th birthday when Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated, and that summer my father was a guest lecturer at the University of Wisconsin. And as the family drove the 200 plus miles from our home on 903 Birchwood Avenue in central Illinois to Madison, I caught smatterings of whispered conversations between my not quite 40-year-old father and 47-year-old mother about the possibility of violence on campus. Unsurprisingly, 3.5-year-old me had paid no attention to our 1964 presidential election, but by November 5th, 1968, the day Richard M. Nixon was elected President of the United States of America, 7.5-year-old me had been following the election since late summer. The riots were a big impetus for me, and I kept wondering why George Wallace hated black people so vehemently while hoping that the war, the riots, and the terror could end. My father, as I'm fond of saying, was progressive, ... for a man born in 1929, and though a registered Republican, he voted for candidate and cause, not party. FYI, most U.S. states require party affiliation to vote in primary elections. Illinois was a closed primary state when we lived there, meaning one had to register with a party and could only vote in that party's primaries. It is now a partially closed primary state, meaning one can easily vote in either party's primaries, so party affiliation is far less restrictive vis-a-vis primary voting than it was 60 years ago. In 1968, Dad was reluctantly supporting RMN, which swayed me to support Tricky Dick. My just up the street at 910 Birchwood Avenue age and schoolmate Tom Frisch and family were Humphrey supporters. And in response to his chant of, "Humphrey, Humphrey, he's our man, Nixon belongs in the garbage can," I started thinking the opposite, that Nixon was our man and Humphrey was a no-go for our trying times. Yeah, I know what happened in 1972. I've been to the Watergate Hotel, and in 1971 we moved from central Illinois to just outside the D.C. Beltway, a move that only accelerated my interest in national and global events. Though the collective psyche of the U.S. population has certainly shifted away from being a nation where the lynching of people of color was a daily threat by moving left and becoming a less openly racist nation, though we've crept closer towards greater egalitarianism and equality, we remain a xenophobic, racist, and sexist culture, a culture that fears change and for many still believe that white Christians are and must remain in the majority and rule from the top down in order to keep those people in their place and to make America great again, to end the woke and take back our nation. The divides are immense and growing. Fear, frequently accompanied by hate, guide many of us, and too often the Bible is used to justify oppression. Throughout my life, we've crept slowly towards greater equality and advancement made in inches and lost in centimeters and becoming a more accepting culture. It is our duty to continue the advancement of equality, of democracy, to make good on the United States Declaration of Independence promise of, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by the Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The preamble to the United States Constitution should be our guiding light, that single sentence that declares, we the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. All men are created equal. All are endowed with unalienable rights. The divide between left and right is wide and growing wider. The question we should all ask ourselves is how we make America better for all, not how to return to a nation where all was a lie from its inception. The future is forward. It's inclusive, and it's uncomfortable for those of us who came into the world entitled to rights held by white, propertied, heterosexual Christian males that were wholly or partially denied to other. Rights for us that are privileges historically denied to any lacking any of that fistful of requirements. An historical wrong that we must continue to right.